Hey folks, Sani Fahuri, aka Darth Caboose here, and welcome to our fourth turn of Let's Play Labyrinth the Awakening, and this is our third campaign, which is the Awakening campaign. We are very, very close to winning the game here. We are just one major jihad roll away from winning. So we are going to take a look at... So we begin, we start with our two cards. And this could be a very short video, or it could be a very long video, depending on how things go. Alright, I see the cards we need. So I'm going to play a 3-ops card, and we are going to do a major jihad in Morocco. So all these guys go to active. All these guys go to active. And we roll 3 die. And the game's over. So we get 1 failure. So this guy was the fighter tank. But we have 2 successes, which is enough to bring this country to Islamist rule. And that brings us to a total of 7 resources, which is sufficient for jihadist victory. We also meet the requirement, by the way, of having 2 countries adjacent. So that is the end of that. So a short video. What can I say? We were just 1 die roll away from winning the game. So there was that. Let's do a recap, though. Since this is a new video, I'd like to spend some time looking at what happened there. So, looking at the priorities of the United States, I am going to be very honest. I had made some mistakes at the start there. I should have considered the DRM of the GWAP penalty at the start of the game. So, I'll admit I made a mistake there. Admittedly, it made the game harder for the jihadists, right? Because it allowed the United States to do something that they should not have been able to do. However, the United States had a really tough time of reassessing, going to hard, because they were at soft. It seems like the criteria for reassessment is really tough. They need 2 3-ops cards, and they have to meet all of these crazy criteria, and it just seems like it did not happen at all this game. So, there was that. There was actually a point somewhere during turn 3 where the US had 2 back-to-back 3-ops cards, but they could not play them because they did not have the 2 ops in reserve, which sucks. It's really tough to see how the United States can win when that happens. Instead, with the United States, this was interesting. Even though the world was at a -2 GWAP penalty, they were able to get their prestige up to +2, and that was enough for them to start converting these countries to fair. But it was interesting to note that as a jihadist, I was very single-minded in my goal of just getting the resources I needed to win the game, establishing the new caliphate in North Africa and in Indonesia. But at the same time, it was tough because the United States spent a lot of resources doing war of ideas in countries that were poor and that were going to be converted to Islamist rule anyway. It was kind of a waste of resources. Sort of. Yeah, I would say it was. But that just kind of happens when you go here. So you get to War of Idea Muslim, right? And then you go over here and you say, okay, we'll do the poor countries first, and then the fair countries next. Which makes sense. This is good for trying to get the United States to win by the 15 of the 18 countries at fair are good. Which I like. I think that's really, really good. But it can cause the United States to kind of get stuck spending resources trying to do these DRMs, these War of Ideas and DRMs at 0, which suck, by the way. I mean, DRM at 0 means you have a 1/3 chance of succeeding and 1/6 of placing an aid. It's not great. That's why you see in my previous videos where I'm playing as the United States, you want to get your DRM as high as possible, because that just makes any cards you play valuable, and like it makes the risk of you wasting cards very low. It's far better to spend more resources getting the DRM high than trying these very unlikely plays that can happen. So that's my critique of that. I don't know how else you could do it. Maybe I would say if you could do a War of Ideas that gets the United States to a good country and the DRM is not unreasonable, then great. Yeah, go for that. Otherwise, not. And then there's the issue of yeah, so the United States will never do a War of Ideas in a good neutral country. But I think that's not necessary. They don't really care about that, so that's okay. Also, we never got to War of Ideas non-Muslim. That's because that only ever happens if their prestige is low and if they're soft, right? So they're okay with the... Yeah, it seems like if the world ever gets to the complete opposite and they're soft, they would never reassess unless the Islamists were close to winning. And they would take it at a -3. And so it would be possible they could actually get through this and they would still be at a -1 when it's all said and done. Because they'd be a -3. Maybe they get to very high, they get a +2, they're at -1. You can actually see here, if you get all the way over here, it'll actually consider doing a War of Ideas in Muslim with DRMF -1. So that's something they'll actually do. It's kind of scary. Also, we never did Homeland Security. Maybe just because it never came up. Or maybe I made a mistake. It's quite possible I made some mistakes at the start of the video. Okay, guys. So that was the end of our campaign. I'm pretty sure I made quite a few mistakes. So, again, apologies. I do want to do a 4th campaign, though. But I want to get this out of there to show how this works. Unfortunately, we didn't see any of the really cool awakening or reaction things. All it did was help make one of our roles a bit easier. We didn't see a lot of the polarization stuff happen. We saw a bit of conversion, which was cool. Also, no civil war. It just seemed like I wanted to go for the win faster by getting the resources taken care of. So, there was that. Yeah, that's the end of that campaign. There is a way to possibly play through a full game. That's all the turns. And what you actually do is you evaluate each of the 3 victory conditions, right? And so the way it works is instead of the game ending the moment a victory condition is met, rather each type of victory condition that is met gives 1 point to that side, right? And so by the end of the game, if one side has more victory conditions met than the other, then the game ends. Then that side wins. But it basically guarantees the game to go on for the full 3 decks or 2 decks or however many you want. So my thoughts, I think it's interesting. I like the new cards. I like the new changes behind it. Yeah, and I could totally see this being played again by me. And I might do a 4th campaign. Maybe the exact same campaign, now that we have everything sort of taken care of. And we can go from there. But I'll admit, this is tough for the U.S. They start off at a -2 modifier. They have to realign themselves to hard or convert some hard countries to soft, which is not unreasonable. I honestly thought that it might have not been a bad idea for the United States to spend a 1-ops card to get France to soft, and then it'd be the 0. And that would be one of the fastest ways they can both improve their prestige and get themselves out there. I honestly think this table should make an exception for if the United States is soft and the world is hard, then they should do a War of Ideas in a non-Muslim country ASAP because of the how much more likely it is for it to succeed. That's just my 2 cents, though. So I would maybe put something maybe like maybe here, right? In like after this part here, after the Islamist Rule greater than equal to 3, but before the War of Ideas. Ask, is the United States soft and is the world hard? And maybe is reassessment not possible, right? So if the if the Islamist resources is at 3 or higher, they want to reassess. They want the world to stay hard. They don't want to convert the world to soft. But getting it to like 0, that's fine. That's not bad. That's reasonable. Okay, so those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about this particular video. And I will be uploading these. I will be. Feel free to leave comments if you'd like to see more. Let me know. And thank you all so much for watching. This has been Seni Fakhuri, aka Dark Moves, playing Labyrinth, The Awakening, 2010 to question mark. And this has been our 3rd campaign, which has been the Awakening scenario. Thank you all so much. Please join me for my 4th campaign, which should be coming out hopefully soon. And I'll see you all later. Have a great day.